Hey, what's up everybody, Prepared Guy here, and today we are unboxing the Olight Warrior X. I ordered this recently off of Amazon, and yes, they delivered it in 2 days because I have Prime. So I've tried it out already. I'm going to unbox it for you here today, and I wanted this flashlight basically as a primary tactical flashlight that's versatile. I know I said before that I wanted to use my S1R Baton 2 as my EDC and have that be in my get home bag and use that as a primary, but you know what, I decided we need to go a little bit bigger. I didn't want to go as overkill to bring my Marauder with me. However, this is a nice happy medium in between. It's lightweight, it is versatile, and it will get the job done, and that's why I wanted to bring this flashlight into the mix. So opening the box right away, it says change the way you use tactical flashlights, and it says thank you from Olight. Congratulations on your new Olight Warrior X, and it has a little picture diagram telling you to remove the insulating film so that you can actually use the flashlight, and there are a couple instructions on how to use the basic settings. So we're going to move along to the actual holster that comes with it, and it's a sideways holster that you put on your belt. It's not the up and down one, so basically that's okay, we can deal with that. On the side you have a little battery pouch for an extra battery, and that's really cool to have there. It's almost like having a magazine for your firearm. Instead it's just battery for your flashlight, which is kind of cool. Inside the box we also have this little ring that's a grip for the flashlight. It's an extra one, and I'll show you how to put that on in a few seconds. And okay, let's see, and we also have we're going to put that aside for now. And of course we have the charging port for it, which is fantastic. And if you want to see it, let's take a look at that. It's pretty standard. It looks like most of the other Olight magnetic charging things, and it just clips on like that, and oops, clicks on like that, and this little part lights up for when you're charging it. And the rest of the box has this little Olight thing that kind of tells you about little features of the flashlight and this, that, and the other thing. And also, a cool feature about this is it vibrates like a vibrator when you're running out of power. So that's kind of cool. So, hey, I'm running out of power. Instead of doing flashy, blinky stuff, now it's just wasting your battery a little bit more with some vibration. So going into the light itself, let's take a look at the light. It's got an aggressive bezel here. It's got the classic Olight blue to it. So when you're getting smashed in the face with it during a tactical situation, you know it's an Olight because it's blue. So removing the back end cap here, tail cap's got to go. So we can remove that piece of plastic that they stick there so you don't waste your battery. That's out of the way. So let's go into a little bit of detail here. It has a hand grip right here, little grip, and this comes off. So that way, and you'll notice there's a little notch in it right there. That little notch lines up directly with this. So that way you can put it on, it stays and won't spin left or right. But this comes off, and then you can actually pop this piece off too, and you can switch out the little piece here so you can get a grip on it. And that's basically for when you're in a tactical situation. Say you're using a pistol instead of a rifle, and you're not using the rifle mount, you're using just your hands. You can, you know, do one of these deals where you're going ahead and seeing your target that way. So let's put this back together real quick. So you'll see the little notch here. You push this in there, pops right in, and then you take the hand grip, line it up, put it right back on there. Now here's another thing too. There are little rings here, and you got to make sure that this one, because this happened to me, I accidentally moved the ring from here all the way up to where the groove was, and so I couldn't put the cap back on. You know, learning, trial and error. So put it that way, and it's nice and snug now. And you put the tail end back on, and you're good to go. Okay, so let's go into some of the modes now that we've discovered the little hand grip issue there. So going into this, you'll notice that this is kind of flush with it. You have to kind of dig your thumb in there to kind of get it to tap to do anything. So let's go into the modes. The first mode is the 300 lumen mode, which you're gonna lightly tap like this, and it's gonna go soft push. Now notice I'm holding it down. If I let that go, it's gonna shut off. If I do a harder push, go all the way in deep, it's gonna go to the 2000 lumen mode, and then I can just release it and it shuts off. Now if I want that to stay on, I fast push it nice and deep, and then it just goes into the 2000 lumen mode. Same again to shut it off. Now if I want the lower setting, I'll just soft push it fast, and now we're in the 300 lumen mode. And the same thing again to shut it off. Now it also has a strobe feature, and how that works, and this is very specific, you remove slightly the tail so it disconnects from the battery. Then you hold the button down with a deep press, and then while holding, you put it back on. And it has two modes now. One is if you soft push it, it goes into the 2000 lumen mode. If you hard push it, it goes into the strobe. So soft push, regular light, hard push, strobe. In order to get it back to the normal mode, you have to do the same exact thing by holding it in, and then, oops, let me do this right. You hold it down in all the way, put the cap back on, and it's going to bring you right back into the other setting. So it's pretty complicated, but at the same time, it's really not. And those are for your tactical mode and your just regular search and rescue kind of mode. You'll notice that it says in the description on the Olight website that this is a custom battery, and what that actually means is that it drains a little bit slower than a normal battery this size. There's a difference between a 3.6 volt with 3000 milliamps and the standard, which is a 3.7 volt at 2400 milliamps. So these are slightly different batteries, and basically, oops, let me get that back in focus for you. So these are slightly different batteries in the sense that they'll both work in the flashlight. This one drains a little bit slower and has a little bit larger capacity on it. This one, it drains a little bit faster, by 0.1 volt, and it's also a smaller battery in size, basically, of capacity. So this is the standard. They'll both work in the flashlight, but this one's made and designed specifically for the Warrior X. So moving along to some technical details about the flashlight itself. The beam distance in feet is 1,837 feet. So roughly a little over a third of a mile for distance. Now this flashlight definitely is a thrower. We're going to go outside and do some tests with it, and I'm going to show you guys how far it goes on the low mode and the high mode. So we'll go check that out in a little bit. Moving along to the modes, level 1 is 2000 lumens. Level 1 at 2000 lumens runtime is about 1 hour and 20 minutes. And at the 300 lumen runtime is about 4 hours and 40 minutes. And I'm not sure exactly how long it lasts on strobe, but it's somewhere probably in between those two times. It is IPX8 waterproof. It weighs approximately 7.69 ounces. The LED is a Cree XHP35NW. It is a magnetic USB charging port type, and it is compatible with the 18650 battery. Alright guys, so I set up my experiment. I want to see how hot this flashlight actually gets in real time, and so far we're at 97 degrees and rising slowly. You'll notice right off the bat we're already at 100 degrees, and it just keeps going. 102. I'm gonna have to probably speed this part of the video up, but it's only been turned on for 37 seconds. A couple minutes, and we got all the way up to 135 degrees. And I like to run these tests for about 3 to 5 minutes. Usually peaks out around the 2-minute mark anyway for most of these flashlights. We're into the 3-minute mark right now, and we're at a steady 131 degrees around the bezel of the flashlight, or the head of the flashlight. And you know, it's not an ideal temperature that you want your hands to be on, but you'll also notice that it is dissipating pretty well, considering the fact that it is actually dropping in temperature. We're at 129 right now from 135. So the longer it runs, the more stable the temperature becomes. The dissipation on the heat sink around the head of the flashlight is doing its job. So the heatsink is doing its job, and I'm impressed. Not too bad. It's not something I want to touch, but I'm going to touch it anyway, because for science, you know. Oh yeah, that's freaking hot. I wouldn't be able to hold on to that, at least not there. Oh wow, the whole flashlight's pretty damn hot. It's tolerable though. It's like a really, really hot cup of coffee, but once you go up here, it actually has, you know, the little thing that says surface is hot, and that's definitely going to be hot. See the handle. The handle is at, what are you at? Oh, that's 129 still, so it's still pretty hot. So I'm going to shut that off and let that cool down. We'll see how long it takes to cool down. Testing 1, 2, 3. Alright guys, so we checked out how hot this got, and it got really friggin' hot. On the front of the flashlight, it was crazy hot. It was 135 at the top peak of its game, and the front of the flashlight was just too hot to touch when I was touching it. For some reason it didn't really register on the thermal camera, but the actual grip got really, really hot, but it was tolerable to hold, and the tail end of the flashlight was fine. You could grab it. Now, we ran this for 3 minutes, and usually my tests run between 3 and 5 minutes. At 3 minutes it topped out to 135 and then slowly kind of dissipated a little bit. The heat sink did its job by keeping the flashlight relatively cool. However, I don't know if you run it for a very, very long time, you're going to risk the internals getting really hot and the possible battery damage or damage to components if you let it run for too long. So I wouldn't let it run for very long. I would just kind of use it, see what you need to see, and then turn it off, just like, you know, normal flashlight use. But if you're going to keep it on the 2000 lumen mode, that's when it heats up. But anything like the 300 lumen mode should be fine to run for however long. And I think the time was 4 hours and 40 minutes roughly of just runtime continuous, and an hour and some change for the runtime on the 2000 lumens. So overall, it did a good job of heat dissipation. Okay, so now I want to show you guys the beam intensity. We're in a dark room right now, and I'm about 5 feet away from the wall that I'm going to be shining this on. So first off, we're going to go with the 300 lumen mode, and I have this neutralized, so you're seeing exactly what I'm seeing, and the camera is not going to compensate. So now I'm going to put it into the 2000 lumen mode. Now you can see it's a significant difference. And how I did that was I just left the exposure at the proper exposure. You're getting exactly the light that I'm seeing. And that's a nice bright round beam. You'll see. Do it again. Low and high. Low and high. Now I'm going to compare this beam to the S1R Baton 2 at 1000 lumens. And we're going to go 1000 lumen S1R Baton 2 is on the left, and the Warrior X is on the right. Now you'll notice the Warrior X has close to the same beam size. It's a different color, obviously. And on top of that, it's twice as intense. It almost looks like you're looking at a full moon or the sun. And now I'm going to put it on the low mode, and you see it's a smaller beam, and it's not as intense looking. We're going to do another comparison. On the right, I have the Warrior X at full 2000 lumens, and on the right, I'm going to put the Olight X7R Marauder at full capacity on 12,000 lumens. So you can see there's a big difference in lumens, but you can still tell that the 2000 lumen flashlight is really, really bright. And so we're moving along to the outdoor test. All right, guys, so to demonstrate this, I have the Olight Warrior right here, and over there, that's about 150 feet away from me. And I'm going to show you guys this on the lowest setting, which is 300 lumens. Doing a little spotlight. Go back and forth. You can kind of see what's going on down there. Now, that's a park over there. You can kind of see some of the structures. I'm going to put this on the 2000 lumen mode now. And you can see it's significantly brighter. And you can actually see the particles floating in the air. It's crazy. You can see my breath. So, that's what it looks like, guys, at night. You can see all the way up in the back there. That's about 250 feet, 300 feet away, roughly. So that's pretty good distance. There's a random car parked over there, and I can light it up like this, and you can really see who's over there, who's in the car. It's nice and bright. Let's see how dark it is. I mean, it's backlit by that light, but still, you can really tell. It's on low, and this is on high. So if you really needed to defend yourself, I mean, this parking lot is like another 100 feet back over there. Decent sized parking lot. And that's on the 2000 lumens right now. Sorry about the focusing, guys. It's having issues because of the light. Alright, guys, so I found a nice little spot. This is on low, 300 lumens. This is on high, 2000 lumens. You can see all the way back down the end of that trail back there. You can see all the trees. You can see across this entire field. So it's a nice long way off. Thanks for watching, guys. This has been The Prepared Guy, and until next time, stay prepared.